in town today for a bunch of talks and get-togethers and meetings. And you know what? There is probably no part of the nation where that fight for that, where that battle for that economic dollar is right now harder, tougher, stronger than in the South. And we in Louisiana, we're fighting Texas, we're fighting Georgia, we're fighting Mississippi. How are we doing in that battle? And what can Louisiana do specifically with Texas, just seemingly such a boom state, to compete for those dollars?
Wow, you make a great point, Robert. And look, there is a very, very tough competition for plants, for opportunities for business expansion across the South, across the nation. Well, I'll tell you how we're doing. In 2017, there's a publication that tracks this called Southern Business and Development, and we were ranked the #2 state in the nation for the attraction of jobs and investment. And we were right behind Kentucky, by the way. So if you get into the South Louisiana area, where we have $120 billion worth of industrial construction going on in Lake Charles, you can see how we vault into these great categories. But across the state, it's more challenging. We do have other regions impacted by oil and gas production, those kinds of things that have had layoffs that sort of, when you average it all out, it doesn't feel as strong as the way we are really represented on paper.
Don, you sit around the big boy table all the time,
like today,
with people who want to locate their business in our state or are thinking about, several options. What's the number one question they ask you about doing business? Why they should come to Louisiana? What do they ask you about? What are you going to do for me?
That's a great question, and it's easy answer for me. The coin of the realm is really your workforce today. You have to have a talented, well-trained workforce. We have the best workforce training program in America. It's called Fast Start. Business Facilities awarded us for the 9th year in a row this award, recognizing what we do and the way we do it in workforce training. And believe me, those other competing southern states are very active in this lane. So it's not a strict set of rules. Here's how you do workforce training. Let's go bowl a 300 at the bowling alley. They keep changing. We have to keep growing. We have to keep adopting. And that's what we've done with Fast Start. We have a Louisiana Business Connection. That's a part of that. That's on a web portal. It's a matching site for these large projects that we bring in. We're able to populate them on one side of the site and then bring on an entire menu of small businesses that can offer services to those major corporations and do that match. We're doing that with resumes through Louisiana Job Connection as we look for specific skill sets that they need. By adopting these kinds of practices, by listening, by recruiting, and then training and delivering, we are a state where people say, wow, that makes a lot of sense to me. The other part of that is Fast Start's so well integrated with our learning institutions, with the tech schools, with the community colleges, with the four-year universities. And when we show these companies that we have not just your workforce solution today, but this long-standing pipeline of talent that will continue to come to you, it makes a very compelling case.
Okay, Don. GM. Is the horse out of the barn, or will we ever...
Mention too important. Mention what Stephen said about that yesterday.
Stephen Jackson said that bringing a car manufacturer back to our GM facility would not happen because the equipment inside that facility is now obsolete. So it's not marketable as a car manufacturing site. Would you agree? Will we ever see cars being made in that facility?
That answer is unknown to us. The elements that you talked about, though, let's break that down a little bit. First of all, equipment inside. That has very little to do with the next utilization of that facility out there. The equipment, as I understand it, has already been sold. And even if you were to look to use that equipment, that equipment now, 15 years? 15 years in technology is a lifetime. Look at your iPhone right there. Think back 15 years ago what you were carrying around. So it's really not about the equipment. It's about a couple other things. First of all, it's the market. And look, technology's moving. You don't think of building trucks and buses the way you once did at GM. You think about building a new electric autonomous car with 5G technology that's going to deliver packages for Amazon or something like that. A challenge for us out there is that from the very beginning, this was not under our control. If I want to buy your house, I talk to you. But in the case of General Motors, that facility went to the bankruptcy judge. The bankruptcy judge put it up for sale. The Caddo Parish Commission purchased the facility and then immediately turned around to lower the maintenance, security, and other kinds of costs associated with the facility and executed a lease with the industrial real estate group. Okay, so now who's in charge? I'm scratching my head. So if I bring a prospect to the GM facility, there's a lot of layers that we have to go through. We have to listen to a commercial owner that's trying to recapture investment out there as he pays a lease back to the Caddo Parish Commission. And so it becomes very complex.
Do you feel let down
that makes it very much more challenging. So the real estate control, the features of the market of new technology. We've got a great site out there. There's no question. Rail, water, transportation, all the interstate, the roadway pathways, the electricity service out there is magnificent. So there's great things that we can do with the facility, and over time, I think that'll happen. Today, I look out at the Caddo Bossier Port as the real heart of industry and manufacturing here in Caddo Bossier.